What if the very thoughts you repeat each day are not just harmless musings, but the invisible architects of a reality you never truly intended to create? What if the life you've been told is simply the way things are, is actually a reflection of deeply ingrained patterns of thinking that you have the power to change? This isn't about some distant, unattainable ideal. It's about the fact that there might be a simple, yet overlooked, key to unlocking the life you've always dreamed of, a technique that has been hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to rediscover it. There's a forgotten practice, a way of using the quiet moments before sleep that can reshape your entire existence. This is not about chanting complicated mantras or adopting strict rituals. This is about harnessing the power of a single word, repeated with intention, to reprogram your subconscious mind from the inside out. Most people operate under the illusion that they are at the mercy of their circumstances, feeling as if life is something that is happening to them rather than something that is happening by them. They see themselves as victims of circumstance, believing that their current reality is fixed and unchangeable. But here's the key to understanding what is to come. It's not just about mechanically repeating any word, it's about the intention that you place behind it and the feeling that you allow it to evoke within you. Everything you see around you, from the relationships you cherish to the opportunities that come your way, is fundamentally rooted in the thoughts and beliefs you consistently harbor in your mind. These are not abstract concepts or mere positive thinking. This is about understanding that your thoughts are the seeds you plant, and that the life you currently experience is the harvest of those seeds. This simple practice is not just about changing the words that you repeat to yourself. It's about fundamentally rewiring the very core of your being by changing your subconscious mind so that it attracts those things that you truly desire. This technique isn't just a collection of modern ideas. This is a bridge that connects ancient wisdom with modern understanding, a secret that has been whispered through the ages, but is now ready to be openly unveiled. For centuries, philosophers and mystics have understood the power of the subconscious mind, but that knowledge was always kept hidden or only available to a select few. But now, this power is finally within your reach. So the three fundamental pillars that we are going to discuss are these: the power of thought, the importance of feeling, and the process of manifestation. Think of your subconscious mind as the soil, and your thoughts and beliefs are the seeds you are constantly planting. If you are planting seeds of doubt, scarcity, and fear, that is what will grow in your life. But if you plant seeds of abundance, joy, and gratitude, you begin to change the very foundation of what will manifest for you. But here's a very important point. There is a specific time when your subconscious is most open and receptive, and that is right before you drift off to sleep. In that state, your conscious mind relaxes, and your subconscious becomes more susceptible to new programming, making the process incredibly powerful. This idea of nighttime repetition isn't some novel concept. It's an idea that has been explored and utilized across numerous traditions and has a very deep rooting in ancient wisdom. But the real power lies not just in the words you speak, but in the feeling that you attach to those words, which is where gratitude comes into play. The feeling acts as a powerful catalyst and is a key component to making this whole process work correctly. Now, let's shift the question. If your thoughts are shaping your reality, and your subconscious is most open right before you fall asleep, then what if you could intentionally plant the seeds of your desires every single night as you drift off into slumber? The word itself isn't important. It's the feeling that the word evokes. We are almost there now. We're getting closer to understanding this secret, this powerful technique that you can start utilizing tonight. Many try to manifest from a place of lacking or desperation, but what if you did it from a place of pure gratitude? What if you used your nightly practice to focus on what you already have, rather than what you still lack? Now that you have a fundamental understanding of how powerful your subconscious mind is, I'm going to reveal the technique and walk you through a step-by-step process so that you can use this practice effectively in your own life, beginning tonight. So, let's delve deeper into this idea of your subconscious mind being constantly programmed. It's not a passive process, it's an active one, and it is happening every moment of every day whether you realize it or not. Think about it. How did you learn to tie your shoes? You didn't come into this world knowing how to do that, yet now you do it without a second thought, often without even realizing that you're doing it. That's because of repetition. At first, it was a conscious effort, a series of deliberate actions. But over time, with enough repetition, it became an automatic habit that's now ingrained in your subconscious. Consider how you learned to drive a car or how you learned to type on a keyboard. At first, these were awkward processes, requiring your full attention, but now you do these things effortlessly. It's not that you are naturally good at these things, it's that you trained yourself, through repetition, to form a habit. Your subconscious mind is constantly absorbing information, and it learns best by repetition. Now, here's the crucial point. If your subconscious is constantly being programmed by repetition, then you have the power to use this process intentionally. You can consciously choose the thoughts, the beliefs, and the feelings you want to impress upon your subconscious, and in doing so, you begin to reshape your reality from the inside out. This is not something you need to strive for. It is a natural process that is already happening all the time, and now you are just taking conscious control of that process. Now, let's bring in the wisdom of James Allen, a man who understood this principle profoundly, and who wrote about it extensively in his timeless classic, As a Man Thinketh. Allen wasn't just a philosopher, he was a living example of the power of thought, and his life is a testament to what is possible when you understand this principle. In his book, he states, "A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts." He understood that our outer world is merely a reflection of our inner world, and he stressed the idea that the subconscious mind is the soil in which we plant our thoughts, our mental seeds, as he called them. These seeds then grow and manifest into the circumstances of our lives. James Allen himself had to overcome a lot in his life, facing many hardships and setbacks before he began to understand this principle. But once he applied it to his life, he went on to live a very different existence. He took control of his mind and then changed his life. He spent hours in meditation and contemplation, carefully choosing which thoughts to hold on to and which thoughts to release. Just like a farmer doesn't just plant a seed once, but plants them regularly, we must also diligently plant our desired thoughts into the soil of our subconscious. Allen believed that these mental seeds grow when they are nourished by repetition and emotion, especially in those quiet moments of contemplation. That's the key, this consistent practice and the intentional placement of the seeds. He understood the need for repetition, just as a farmer understands that the process of planting is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process of cultivation. By understanding this process, we can also begin to cultivate our own inner world, and then by extension, our outer world. And this brings us to a very crucial point, the power of the state before sleep. You see, when you are drifting off to sleep, your conscious mind begins to relax, and your subconscious mind becomes more open, more receptive, and more impressionable. This is a very important point. In this state, the barrier between the conscious and the subconscious is lowered. It's similar to the state of hypnosis, where the conscious mind is bypassed and the subconscious becomes much more susceptible to suggestion. That's why affirmations, when repeated in this state, work with such potency. They bypass the critical and analytical part of your mind and go straight into the depths of your subconscious, where they begin to take root. This idea isn't new either. Ancient traditions from various cultures have long understood the significance of this liminal state. Many cultures throughout time have used this twilight period before sleep for prayer, meditation, and reflection. From the ancient Egyptians with their dream temples to the Hindu yogis with their nighttime visualizations, many have always understood the importance of this state and have known that in this liminal state, our minds are most open. These ancient practices underscore the idea that this is not a new idea. It's a fundamental aspect of human consciousness. By understanding this, we can begin to take control of this process in our own lives and begin to use it intentionally. Now, let's talk about the role that gratitude plays in all of this. Gratitude is much more than just a good feeling. It's an incredibly powerful force that has an extremely high vibrational frequency, and it acts as a catalyst for manifestation. The principle of like attracts like is always in effect, and when you are in a state of gratitude, you are essentially creating a space for more things to be grateful for. It's not just about saying thank you as an empty gesture. It's about feeling the sensation of having the things you desire right now, and this is where the real magic happens. When you feel gratitude, you are not operating from a place of lack. You are operating from a place of abundance. This is where you begin to align with your desires, not by striving for them or begging for them, but by already feeling as if you have them. You must understand that this technique is about aligning yourself with your desire, not just trying to ask for it. This shift in perspective changes everything. It moves from asking to already receiving. This understanding is the key to making this technique work for you. And this leads me to the heart of the technique, the twist that will redefine how you approach manifestation. It's not about a magic word. The word itself is not the important thing here. It's about the feeling of gratitude and intention that you attach to whatever word that you choose. The words are just a vehicle. They are the means to an end. What truly imprints your subconscious mind is not the sound of the word, but the feeling, the emotion that you attach to that word. It is the feeling that creates the shift, not the word itself. So, as you drift off to sleep tonight, choose any word. It doesn't matter what it is, but as you repeat it, fill that word with as much gratitude as you can muster. Let the feeling of having everything you want wash over you as you speak that word. If you are manifesting wealth, imagine the feeling of abundance, the feeling of financial freedom. If you are manifesting health, feel the vitality, the energy, and the peace within your body. For example, imagine the word is peace. As you say it over and over, imagine a feeling of calm washing over you. Imagine your body relaxing and releasing all tension. Imagine a warm feeling that begins in your chest, that spreads out to all parts of your body. Let yourself feel this, and that is how you will be rewriting your reality. The visualization isn't just a passive imagining, it is an active creation, and it helps you to imprint your desire into your subconscious mind. By focusing on the feeling, you are not just hopping for the best, you are aligning with the best. This is not something that's out there, this is a simple process that you can begin utilizing tonight. But this brings me to a key point, repetition. The necessity of repetition. One night of practice is not enough, just like one seed will not produce a harvest. That is why I will introduce the concept of a 21-night framework, because that is how long it typically takes to carve a new path in your subconscious mind. Think of it as a neurological pathway, a trail that needs to be worn into the forest. The first time you walk it, it might be difficult to see. But over time, with repeated trips, that path becomes more defined and more visible. The same principle applies here. Your subconscious is like a muscle. It needs to be trained consistently. Just like going to the gym once will not bring you your desired physical goals, neither will practicing this technique one time. You have to show up for yourself and dedicate yourself to this practice in order for it to work effectively. And here's the thing, consistency is often the most challenging part of starting something new. Life gets in the way, doubts creep in, and you might even forget some nights. But here is what you must understand. It is not about perfection, it's about showing up as best you can each night. I have had my own share of stumbles and setbacks with this practice, many times starting and stopping, forgetting, and then recommitting. But I can tell you from personal experience that the subtle shifts that occur in your thinking patterns are worth the dedication. You begin to notice that you are feeling better, that things are getting easier, and that the world around you begins to change in response to the changes that are happening internally. This is not an overnight miracle. This is a practice, a process, a journey that requires dedication, but the rewards are worth the commitment. Now, we will move into a discussion on the art of non-attachment because it is a key element for making manifestation work effectively. So, let's really hone in on this core idea. It is the feeling and intention behind your chosen word, not the word itself, that truly matters. This is where most people miss the mark when trying to use this technique for manifestation. They think it's about a magical incantation, a specific set of words, but it's not about that at all. The subconscious mind is not a computer program that responds to a code of language. It responds to emotion, to belief, to the deeply held convictions that reside within your inner world. Think of a word like abundance. Now, just saying the word isn't going to magically make you rich, but feeling the abundance, feeling that you already have it, that is where the real power lies. When you say the word abundance and you feel a sense of lack, of wanting, then you are actually reinforcing that feeling of not having. But if you repeat that same word and feel the ease, the freedom, the relaxation, the overflow that is associated with abundance, then that feeling becomes a powerful vehicle for imprinting your subconscious with a new belief. The word becomes the key to unlock the feeling. It's a shift from thinking to feeling, and this is an absolutely crucial distinction to understand. You can repeat positive words all day, but if you don't believe it, and more importantly, if you don't feel it, then it is just an empty exercise. It's like trying to plant a seed in dry, barren soil. It won't grow if there's no nourishment. That feeling is the water and sunlight that allows those seeds to take root. The feeling is what makes the word powerful. It's not the word itself, it's the emotion that you infuse into it. Let that sink in for a moment. There is no magic word, there is only magic in feeling. Now, let's discuss the importance of the 21-night journey and why consistent repetition is absolutely necessary to create real, lasting change. It's not enough to just practice this for a few nights, hoping that it will manifest, because consistency is essential when forming new pathways in the subconscious mind. Just like learning a new instrument, or any new skill for that matter, it takes time and dedication to become proficient. You wouldn't expect to play a complex piece of music perfectly after just one practice session. You understand that it takes persistent practice and continuous refinement. The subconscious mind is no different. It requires consistent and sustained effort to begin to rewrite those old, ingrained patterns and beliefs. Imagine learning a new language. At first, the words sound strange and the grammar feels foreign. But over time, with repeated exposure and practice, the language begins to feel more natural and the words and phrases begin to flow more easily. It's not that you are naturally good at languages, it is just that you trained yourself through consistent effort to form a new pathway. The same principle applies to this technique. For example, I used to have a very negative outlook. I would always find the bad in everything, and I had trained myself through consistent negative self-talk to expect the worst. But once I realized that I was responsible for programming my subconscious, I began to focus on the positive. It wasn't easy at first, there was a lot of resistance, but by continuing the practice, night after night, I began to form new patterns of thinking, and over time my perspective began to shift. And so, this 21-night commitment is not arbitrary. It's a time frame that is necessary to create new, lasting neural pathways in your subconscious. You must show up each night, even when you don't feel like it, even when doubts creep in. That consistent repetition is what makes it effective. But you must also understand that during this time, challenges may arise. You may start to feel resistance. Your ego may try to convince you that this is all nonsense, and your old patterns of thinking may try to resurface. But do not get discouraged. These challenges are a sign that you are actually making progress. They are a sign that the old beliefs are starting to lose their grip and that the new beliefs are beginning to take root. This is the roadmap for success, a guide to get you there while navigating any issues that may arise. And this brings us to a very important and often misunderstood aspect of manifestation, the art of letting go or non-attachment. You see, clinging to your desired outcomes with a sense of desperation can actually hinder the process of manifestation. This is because when you are attached to a specific outcome, you are operating from a place of lack and fear, and you may find that you are inadvertently pushing it away. Think of it like planting a seed. You carefully plant it, you water it, and you give it the necessary care, but then you must let go and allow the natural process of growth to unfold. You don't dig up the seed every day to see if it's growing or worry excessively about when it will bloom. You trust that the seed will grow in its own time, and this is the same with our desires. Worrying about when they will manifest and how they will manifest creates a feeling of anxiety and desperation. This is because there is a key difference between having a desire and having an attachment. Desire is the natural yearning for something. It is the vision of the reality you would like to have. But attachment is the belief that you must control the outcome and that you must have it right now in a very specific way. For example, if you are manifesting a new job, it's good to have a desire for a specific type of work and salary. But the attachment would be that it must come from a particular company or a particular person, with specific parameters that you created in your mind. You must learn to hold the desire while letting go of the outcome, because you must remember that the universe has a plan that is far greater than anything you can imagine. Now, let me guide you through a powerful visualization technique that is designed to help you release your attachment. Imagine that you are holding your desire in your hands and see it as a seed that is filled with all of your intentions and all of your hopes. Now, imagine that you are releasing that seed into the universe, trusting that it will grow and blossom in the perfect way and in the perfect time. And as you do this, feel a sense of peace, a sense of calm, and a sense of knowing that everything is working out for your highest good. You must understand that letting go is not about giving up. It's about creating space. It's about allowing the universe to work in your favor. And as you let go, you are actually making room for your desire to come into being. This is the paradox of manifestation. Now, as you continue this practice, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your thinking patterns, in your perspectives, and even in the circumstances of your life. These changes are not always dramatic, not always a lightning bolt of transformation, but they are often subtle, small, and quiet, but extremely important. They may come in the form of synchronicities, where you suddenly find yourself in the right place at the right time, or you begin to have a new perspective on a situation, or even just an increased sense of ease and flow in your daily life. These subtle shifts are an indication that your subconscious is being reprogrammed and that your inner world is beginning to align with your desired reality. For example, in my own experience, as I continued with the 21-night practice, I began to notice more and more synchronicities in my life. Things would just line up effortlessly, opportunities would suddenly appear, and it felt as though there was an invisible hand guiding me along the way. And more importantly, I began to feel lighter, more confident, more at peace. I wasn't striving as much. I wasn't forcing things to happen. I was just allowing things to unfold with a feeling of ease. Now, I want you to take a moment and reflect on what is changing in your inner world. Are you feeling more optimistic? Are you noticing more synchronicities? Are you experiencing a sense of greater ease? This is what to look for, because these small, quiet changes are actually a sign that the manifestation process is well underway. This means that your inner world is now reflecting your desires. Do not get caught up in waiting for a massive transformation, but look for these subtle shifts, as they are actually a confirmation that you are on the right path. So, let's bring this all together by outlining some specific, actionable steps to incorporate this powerful gratitude-infused practice into your nightly routine. You must understand that this process must be the last thing you do before drifting off to sleep. This is because at this time, your subconscious is most receptive and most open to suggestion, which makes this time a particularly potent time for manifestation. So, as you prepare for bed, find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down, and take a few deep breaths to relax your body and your mind. Then choose your word, and as you repeat that word silently or aloud, begin to infuse it with the feeling of gratitude. Really let yourself feel the sensation of having everything you desire. You are not just saying the words, you are experiencing the feeling of already having it. And let this feeling wash over you as you gently drift off to sleep. Do not force the practice. Do not try to make it happen. Just allow the feeling of gratitude to envelop you and trust that this is working to rewrite your subconscious beliefs and to align you with your desired reality. And this is what I ask of you now. I want you to commit to this practice, begin it tonight, and give it the full 21 nights. I also want you to share your experiences in the comments below. This will allow you to connect with others and share your journey and your transformations. Because the power of community is a strong force and can actually help accelerate your own transformation. And with that, we will now move into discussing the power of community. Now, let's delve deeper into the mechanics of how the subconscious mind actually gets reprogrammed. Because it's one thing to understand that repetition is important. It's another to truly grasp the neurological process that is happening behind the scenes. Think of your brain as a vast network of interconnected pathways, like a forest with trails running through it. Each time you have a thought or engage in a behavior, you're essentially walking down a particular path, and the more you walk down that path, the more well-worn it becomes. These paths are what scientists call neural pathways, and these pathways become stronger and more efficient with repeated use. Now, if you have a deeply ingrained belief or habit, it's like a wide, well-worn highway in your brain, and that's where these old limiting beliefs often reside. Now, the process of reprogramming your subconscious is like creating a new path or a new trail. At first, this new path might be faint, barely visible, and difficult to walk down. But with each repetition, with each time you practice feeling gratitude and repeat your chosen word with intention, you are actually strengthening that new neural pathway, making it easier and easier to access. And just like learning any new skill, such as riding a bike or playing an instrument, it takes consistent practice to develop that sense of ease and to make that new pathway feel natural. You didn't learn to ride a bike the first time, did you? You wobbled, fell down, maybe even scraped your knees, but with persistence, the more you practiced, the easier it became, until it became second nature, something you can do without even thinking about it. Your subconscious works in the exact same way. It's a muscle that can be strengthened, a pathway that can be built, and with consistent practice and repetition, your new beliefs will also become your new reality. This is how these new beliefs are not just fleeting thoughts, but become deeply ingrained patterns. And as this happens, you'll begin to see your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors shift, which will then shift your reality. And this brings us to the most critical aspect of this practice, the power of feeling. Because, as we have discussed, it's not simply about repeating words, it's about evoking genuine feelings of gratitude, and that's where the real power lies. The subconscious mind doesn't respond to words alone. It responds to emotions, the vibrations that those feelings create. When you just repeat a word like abundance, without any emotional charge, it's like planting a seed in dry, barren soil. It may be there, but it's not going to grow. But when you repeat the same word with a deep sense of gratitude, with a feeling of already having that abundance, you are actually adding the necessary water and sunlight, allowing that seed to grow, to take root, and to blossom. You are imprinting the subconscious with that feeling of abundance, and it begins to manifest that into your life. So let's make this practical, and I want you to do this right now. Think of something that you want, something you desire. Now, notice how that feels in your body. Do you feel a sense of wanting, of striving, of lack? Now, shift your focus to something that you already have, something that you are grateful for, like your health, or a loving family, a roof over your head. Notice how that feels in your body. Does it feel like a sense of ease, of peace, of fullness? This is what we mean when we talk about shifting from thinking to feeling. It's the difference between lack and abundance, and it's that feeling of abundance that will imprint your subconscious. It's that feeling that will make your word powerful, and it's the intention behind your chosen word that will fuel the manifestation process. The intention of having the thing already, and the feeling of already possessing it, is the key to unlocking your desires. So, as you repeat your chosen word, do not just say it, but feel it. Let the emotion wash over you, and let that feeling become the blueprint for your new reality. Think of gratitude as a special fertilizer, nurturing your seeds of intention, allowing them to grow faster and stronger. Now, let's talk about the practicalities of maintaining this 21-night commitment, because as with any new habit, challenges will undoubtedly arise. And that's not just because life happens, but because your ego, that part of you that is always looking for the easy way out, will try to convince you to stop or to give up. For example, you may feel resistance, where suddenly you're tired, or maybe something comes up that takes your time and focus away from your practice, or maybe you just start to doubt that this is working. These are all normal experiences, and it is not a sign that you're failing, but rather it's a sign that you are making progress, and that the old, limiting beliefs are starting to lose their power. It is like the weeds that are trying to choke the seeds you are planting. So, let me ask you this. Have you ever started a new workout routine, and then found yourself making excuses to skip a day, or 2, or 3? Or have you ever tried to start a new diet, but then you find yourself craving all the foods that you are trying to avoid? This is the ego pushing back, and it will do the same with this practice. But here's the important thing to understand. When you feel that resistance, do not try to push it away, acknowledge it, and say to yourself, "This is just my ego trying to keep me in my comfort zone." And then, commit to showing up anyway. It's about shifting from a mindset of resistance to a mindset of commitment, which is why creating a nightly reminder is very helpful. Set an alarm, write it on your to-do list, or even better, find an accountability partner, someone who will do this practice with you, and together you will keep each other on track, and you will navigate the rough patches. It's also helpful to realize that it gets easier, because once you create that new pathway in your subconscious, the resistance begins to fade, making the process feel much more natural. So remember, these challenges are not obstacles, but simply a part of the process, and with awareness and a commitment to consistency, you will be able to overcome them. And this is where we must also address a very important aspect of manifestation, the art of non-attachment. Because, while it's essential to hold a clear vision of your desired outcome, it's equally important to release your attachment to how, when, and where that desire will manifest. Clinging too tightly to a specific outcome creates a feeling of desperation and anxiety, and actually hinders the very manifestation you are trying to create. Think of it like planting a seed. You plant your seed with intention, you nurture it, and you provide it with everything it needs to grow. But then you must let go and allow the natural process of growth to unfold. You cannot micromanage when the seed will sprout or how it will grow. You trust that it will grow in its own time, in the perfect way. And this is the exact same process with our desires. If you obsess over when and how it will manifest, you're actually creating a feeling of lack, which counteracts the feeling of abundance. This creates an internal conflict and slows down the entire manifestation process. So, what do? You let go. But letting go is not a passive process. It is actually a very active, conscious choice. So, let me give you a powerful visualization technique that will help you release your attachment. Imagine you are holding your desire in your hands, and you see it as a beautiful, glowing orb, filled with all of your intentions, hopes, and dreams. Now, picture yourself releasing that orb into the universe, like releasing a dove into the sky, trusting that it will find its way back to you in the most perfect way and at the most perfect time. As you do this, allow yourself to feel a sense of peace, a sense of trust, and a sense of knowing that everything is working out for your highest good. This is how we actively let go, by releasing the need to control the outcome, and instead, trusting the universe to orchestrate the perfect pathway to your desire. This process should be a part of your nightly ritual, guiding you to release your desires at the end of your practice, by allowing it to simply be, and allowing it to be created in the most perfect way. Now, as you continue this practice, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your inner world, and these subtle shifts will actually be mirrored in your outer reality, almost as if an internal dial has been turned and your life is now tuning into a different frequency. This could be in the form of synchronicities, where you suddenly find yourself in the right place at the right time, or you may have a sudden realization, a new perspective on a situation, or even an unexpected opportunity that seems to appear out of nowhere. These subtle signs are an indication that your subconscious is being reprogrammed, that your inner world is aligning with your desired reality, and more importantly, that the process is underway. For example, I recall when I first started doing this practice, I was seeking a new career path, and at first nothing seemed to change. But after a few weeks of doing this consistently, I began to have these small coincidences, and I started to meet people who had the exact resources I was seeking, and these small meetings started to pave the path to the career I had always wanted. So, how will you know that this is working? You'll start to feel lighter, more at peace, more confident, as though a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming will now seem much more manageable, and you'll start to have this deep sense of knowing that everything is working out for your highest good. So, start paying attention to these small shifts, these small signs, and understand that they are not just random occurrences, but that they are indications of the new reality that you are creating. This also means that when you see a shift internally, you must recognize that this is a reflection of a shift in the subconscious, and it's actually a sign of progress, rather than just something that's sort of happening or maybe happening. Your job is to begin noticing the change, and know that it will now start to reflect in the external world. So let's now bring it all together by creating a practical guide to incorporating this powerful, gratitude-infused technique into your nightly routine. And remember, consistency is the key, so you must commit to doing this every night for the next 21 nights. Start by creating a calming environment, dim the lights, light a candle, put on some soft music, anything that helps you feel relaxed. Then find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down, and take a few deep breaths, allowing yourself to unwind and to release the stresses of the day. Now, choose your word, and as you repeat that word silently or aloud, begin to infuse it with the feeling of gratitude. Allow the feeling to fill your entire being and feel the sensations in your body. You must make sure that you're not just saying the words, but that you're feeling the emotion. Now, as you repeat that word, visualize yourself already having that which you desire, and feel the joy, the peace, the abundance, and the freedom that comes with it. Allow this feeling to become your dominant emotion, and as you gently drift off to sleep, let this be the last feeling that you hold in your heart and in your mind. Remember that the last thoughts and feelings that you have before you fall asleep are the most powerful because they directly program the subconscious. And now, as we come to the end of this section, I invite you to make a commitment to yourself. Begin this practice tonight, and I encourage you to share your experiences in the comments below. This community can serve as a powerful source of support and encouragement, and you can also connect with others who are embarking on their own transformation. Remember that you are not alone in this journey, and together you can create a life that is filled with joy, peace, and abundance. This is a simple technique, but also a gateway to all of your dreams. So let's dive into understanding how this practice actually rewrites your subconscious blueprint. Because you see, your subconscious mind is like the operating system of your life, a master program that dictates your thoughts, feelings, and actions, often without you even realizing it. This subconscious mind is not a static entity. It's constantly being written and rewritten by your daily experiences and by the beliefs that you hold. So, you can think of your subconscious as a highly sophisticated computer program that is running in the background and is responsible for creating your experience of reality. Now, just like any computer program, your subconscious is based on code, which in your case is made up of your deeply ingrained beliefs and habits. This code determines how you react to the world, the decisions you make, and what you attract into your life. And much of this code was written in your early years, by your parents, your peers, your teachers, and your cultural conditioning. And these experiences may have created a code that is not working in your favor, that's based on limitation, fear, and lack. For example, if you were told as a child that you're not good enough, or that you don't deserve to have your desires, this belief has now become part of the subconscious programming, and that's the code that's running in the background. Now, this nightly practice that we've been discussing provides you with a way to consciously rewrite that code. It's like having access to the source code of your subconscious, where you can begin to replace the old, limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. The repeated feeling of gratitude acts as new code, and it overwrites the old program. And each time you repeat your chosen word with intention, you are essentially installing a new software update. This process is happening all the time, whether you are aware of it or not, and your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs are constantly shaping your subconscious programming. But with intention, you become the programmer of your own mind. And this is where intention and feeling become key, because without that, it's just an empty statement and nothing changes. And the more you install that new code by feeling gratitude, the more your thoughts, feelings, and habits begin to shift, and the old code begins to fade into the background. Think of it like a habit you may have, let's say worrying. At first it may have been a conscious thought, but with repetition it has become an automatic response, and now you are on autopilot. This practice allows you to consciously rewrite those automatic responses, to become the programmer of your own subconscious, and to begin building new habits based on abundance, joy, and freedom. And this brings us to the core of the matter: gratitude, because gratitude is not just some fleeting emotion or a nice thing to say, it's an actual force that aligns you with your desires. It's like a master key that unlocks the door to manifestation, and as we discussed before, it's not about simply saying, "Thank you." It's about feeling the feeling of already having what you desire. That feeling is what activates the manifestation process. It's the feeling that imprints your subconscious with your new reality, and this is a significant distinction to make, because most people approach manifestation from a place of lack. They desire something they don't have, they focus on the gap, and they are asking from a place of wanting, and that is the problem. When you ask from a place of lack, you're actually creating a vibration of resistance, and you are reinforcing the very lack you are trying to overcome. And the universe is a mirror, and it's only giving you what you're putting out. Gratitude, on the other hand, is a state of already having, and when you feel gratitude, you're actually aligning yourself with the vibration of abundance. You shift your focus from what you don't have to what you do have, and in this space of fullness, you become a magnet for all of the things you desire. So, let's make this practical once again. Close your eyes and imagine you already have what you desire. Notice how that feels in your body. Does it feel like a sense of joy, of ease, of peace? Now, let that feeling expand throughout your entire being. This is the state of gratitude that I'm referring to. It's not just an intellectual concept, but a fully embodied experience. And as you do this practice nightly, you must learn to activate this feeling in your body. You must go beyond just saying the word. You must inhabit the feeling as though it's already your reality. Think of gratitude as a tuning fork, and when you strike that fork, it brings you into alignment with your desires. And the key is not just to strike the fork, but to maintain the vibration by immersing yourself in that feeling. This is the difference between someone who is hopping for their desires to manifest and someone who knows that it's already done. It's that sense of inner knowing that separates the two. So, as you repeat your chosen word, feel it, embody it, and allow that feeling to be the key that unlocks all of your desires. And understand that this feeling is the most powerful force in the manifestation process. Now, let's address the inevitable challenges that you might encounter during your 21-night journey, because this is where most people fall off, and it's important to understand why this happens. and more importantly, how to overcome it. Because as you begin to reprogram your subconscious, your ego, that part of you that clings to the familiar, will begin to resist. And this is often when doubt creeps in, and you will begin to question if this is really working. Maybe you'll start to feel tired or find other things that need your attention, and you'll make excuses to skip a night, or maybe you'll just lose focus and find that your thoughts keep drifting. These are all completely normal experiences, and it is not a sign that something is wrong, but it's a sign that you are making progress, and it means that the old, limiting beliefs are beginning to lose their grip on you, like a plant that is trying to grow, and you're having to dig up all the rocks that are blocking it. You can think of it as your subconscious mind putting up a fight and trying to maintain the status quo, and it's trying to keep you from changing. It wants to keep you in that comfort zone where it feels safe. So, what do? You acknowledge the resistance. You don't try to push it away, but you recognize it for what it is, a sign of progress, a sign that you are moving out of your comfort zone. And this is where consistency becomes crucial, and you must commit to showing up each and every night, even when you don't feel like it, even when doubt creeps in. The reason for this is that repetition is key to creating a new neural pathway, and it's like learning a new language. At first it's unfamiliar and challenging, but with consistent practice, it becomes easier and more natural until it's automatic. This practice is the same thing. To stay committed, set reminders, create a space where you will not be disturbed, and most importantly, share your journey with others. Find an accountability partner, someone who is also doing this practice, and together you can support one another and overcome any obstacles that you might face. And to make this practical, let me give you a personal example. When I first started this practice, I also experienced resistance, and I found myself making excuses to skip a night, or I would just find myself falling asleep before I could even start. So I decided to create an environment that supported my intention. I started setting an alarm. I put a little post-it note on my nightstand to remind myself, and most importantly, I found a friend who was also doing this practice. And together, we kept each other on track, and we'd share our experiences with each other. And this is how I overcame those initial challenges. So know that these challenges are just a natural part of the process, and with intention, awareness, and consistency, you can easily navigate them. And this brings us to a concept that many find difficult to fully embrace: the art of surrender, because, while it's essential to hold a clear vision of what you desire, it's equally important to release your attachment to the specific outcome. The more you cling to a certain way that your manifestation will occur, the more you will actually be pushing it away. And this is a concept that is not always easy to grasp, because it goes against everything we have been taught about how to achieve our goals. We're taught that we must grasp tightly, we must strive, and that we must control everything. But this approach actually creates a vibration of resistance, and it closes the door to the very thing you desire. Imagine, if you will, that you have planted a seed in the ground, and you now want it to grow into a beautiful plant. Now you've given it water, sunlight, and fertilizer, and now you must step back and allow the natural process of growth to unfold. You cannot keep digging it up to see if it's growing, and you cannot try to micromanage its growth, because by doing that you would actually harm the seed. This is exactly how your desires are manifested. You plant your intentions, you nurture them, and then you must allow the universe to orchestrate the perfect pathway to your desires. And that is the difference between needing something and having something. The feeling of needing something is born from a place of lack, of striving, and it creates a block, whereas the feeling of already having it creates a sense of peace, trust, and allowing. So, how do you let go? Here's a very specific technique that you can use. Close your eyes and imagine that you are holding your desire in your hands, and you see it as a beautiful, glowing orb of light. Now, consciously choose to release that orb into the universe, and as you do this, consciously release the need to control how it manifests. Allow yourself to feel a sense of peace, knowing that it will return to you in the perfect way at the perfect time and that you are safe. And as you go through your day, you must catch yourself when you are becoming attached and when you are trying to control the outcome. If you catch yourself in this, gently remind yourself that it's already done and that you must simply relax and allow the process to unfold. And the more you practice this, the more you will understand that non-attachment is not a passive process, but a conscious choice to trust the universe and to trust that everything is working out for your highest good. Now, as you move through this practice, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your inner world, and these subtle shifts will actually begin to be mirrored in your outer reality, like a seed that is slowly growing underneath the soil. And this is where many people give up, because they're not seeing immediate results. And they don't understand that the inner changes are what precedes the outer manifestations. So let me make this clear. Before any external change occurs, there must be a shift in your inner world. You will start to see this through changes in your perspective. You'll start to feel more at peace, more confident, more joyful, and you'll start to have an inner knowing that things are beginning to shift. This could manifest as an unexpected opportunity that shows up, a sudden realization, a new connection, or even a moment of profound clarity. These are all subtle signs of alignment, and they are indications that your subconscious is being reprogrammed, and that your outer world is now starting to reflect that internal shift. And it can happen in very strange and unexpected ways. For example, I remember someone I was working with, and they were seeking a new home, and they had been doing this practice consistently for a few weeks. And they mentioned to me one day that they had a dream where they were walking into a house that was identical to the one they were seeking. This is an example of an inner shift that is beginning to manifest in their external world. And then, a few days later, they received a call about a house that had just become available that matched the description of what they had seen in their dream. And I've seen countless instances of synchronicities, of unexpected meetings and sudden opportunities, all of which are a direct reflection of the inner work they have been doing. So, your job is to begin paying attention to these subtle shifts, not dismissing them as coincidences, but knowing that they are signs of progress, and each subtle shift is like a breadcrumb that leads you to your desired outcome. And this is how you begin to recognize your own progress, not by waiting for some massive change, but by noticing the subtle changes that indicate you are on your way. And as you witness these shifts, they serve as a powerful form of encouragement, and it helps you to stay committed to this practice. And finally, let's bring it all together and create a powerful nightly ritual that you can use to program your subconscious with intention and to set the stage for your manifestation. Remember, the last thoughts and feelings that you have before you fall asleep are the most powerful because they directly program your subconscious, which is why creating a sacred space for this practice is essential. And this is not a task that you have to do, but a beautiful ritual where you choose to connect with your inner world. Begin by creating a calming atmosphere. Dim the lights, light a candle, play soft music, use essential oils, or any other elements that support you in feeling relaxed and at peace. Now find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down, and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, releasing the stresses of the day. Then choose your word, and as you repeat that word silently or aloud, infuse it with the feeling of gratitude, and imagine that you are already living your desired reality, and feel the joy, the peace, the abundance, and the freedom that comes with it. Allow this feeling to fill your entire being and become your dominant vibration, and as you gently drift off to sleep, let this be the last feeling that you hold in your heart and in your mind. Remember, the focus is on the feeling, not just the word itself, and it's the feeling that will program your subconscious. It's the feeling that will create your new reality. And as you complete your nightly practice, remember, you are not alone on this journey, and this is not just a video, but a movement of like-minded individuals. So, I invite you to share your experiences in the comments below and create a community of support and encouragement, and together we can amplify the power of this practice. and create a life filled with joy, peace, and abundance. Because this practice is a gateway to all of your dreams, and it's within your reach, and I know you can do this. Now, as you begin to explore this nightly ritual, you'll start to understand that the power of this practice extends far beyond mere affirmations. It goes into the realm of embodiment, because the true catalyst for reprogramming your subconscious lies not in the words you speak, but in the feelings you cultivate. It's the difference between reciting an affirmation like, "I am abundant," and genuinely feeling the abundance, the difference between just saying something and being something. You see, your subconscious mind doesn't just process words. It actively responds to the emotions behind them, and it's like the difference between planting a seed in dry, barren soil and planting it in rich, fertile ground, and in both cases you have the seed, but only in the second scenario can it grow and thrive. Think of the words as the seed, and the feeling as the nutrients it needs to sprout. So, for example, let's say you're repeating the affirmation, "I am abundant." You can say it 100 times without conviction, and it will fall flat. It has no feeling. Your body and your subconscious mind will just brush it off, because the message isn't actually being received. But now, let's say you say those same words while also feeling a deep sense of gratitude, a sense of overflowing abundance that you already have all that you need. And imagine your body physically responding to that feeling. You might feel a sense of expansion in your chest, a lightness in your being, a surge of joy. This is the fertile ground your subconscious needs, and now you've created an environment that will allow the seed to grow. The subconscious is not moved by empty statements, but it is deeply affected by feeling, and your body acts as the vehicle for transmitting that feeling, and it acts as your guide. So, begin to pay attention to what you feel when you say your chosen word. Do you feel tension, resistance, a sense of lack, or do you feel expansive, joyful, and at peace? That's how you will know if your affirmations are taking root and if the intention is actually making its way into your subconscious. It's not about faking it. It's about finding the genuine feeling within you, and the more you inhabit that feeling, the more your reality will begin to shift to match that vibration. So, embrace the power of feeling as the active ingredient, as the fertile soil that nourishes your manifestations. Now, let's address the very real possibility of setbacks during your 21-night commitment. Because, as you begin to delve deeper into your subconscious, you will, inevitably, come face to face with resistance. It's like trying to change a very old habit, and it's never a straight line. But you must know that these challenges are not a sign of failure, but rather an expected part of the journey, and it's important to remember the repetition loop that we discussed earlier. Your subconscious is not going to just roll over and let you make changes without a fight. It is very comfortable with the current state, and it's trying to maintain that. So at first, that change is met with resistance, because it doesn't know if the new belief is safe, or if it can be trusted, and this resistance might show up in many ways. You might experience moments of doubt where you question if this is actually working, or you might find yourself losing motivation, or just feeling skeptical. Perhaps the excuses will creep in, and you find yourself too tired to do the practice, or you'll find other things demanding your attention, all of which are very normal. These are just the old programs trying to reassert themselves, trying to keep you in your comfort zone. So, how do you stay committed when you are facing these obstacles? Think of this process as training for a marathon, and you know that you're not going to see results overnight, and there will be days when you don't feel like going to the gym or you're too tired to run, but you must trust the process, and you must keep showing up. You don't give up after one missed day, you simply get back on track the next day. This is not about perfection, it's about persistence, and it is the consistent practice that will allow you to create new neural pathways, new habits, and to overwrite the old limiting beliefs. So, if you find yourself facing these challenges, acknowledge them, don't try to push them away, and then simply return to your practice. Remind yourself that this is all part of the journey. It's not about avoiding the challenges, but about embracing them, and about understanding that resistance is a sign that you're making real progress. And it's important to remember that the journey is not about the destination, it's about the process, and it is about enjoying the present moment. So, celebrate the small wins and have trust that the bigger picture will unfold. And now, let's dive deeper into the art of letting go, because this is one of the most powerful tools that you have available in your manifestation journey, and it is a concept that is often misunderstood. Many people confuse letting go with apathy or with giving up, but in reality, it's an active act of trust, and it's where you consciously choose to surrender to the flow of the universe. Think of it as the next step after planting your seed. You've given it everything it needs, and now you must trust the process of growth. You cannot control every aspect of the journey. You must simply let go and trust that the universe will orchestrate everything in perfect timing. You must release your attachment to the specific how and the when, and know that the universe has your back. The fear of not getting what you want is what creates a vibrational block, and it will keep you out of alignment, and that fear often manifests as a need to control, and a need to micromanage every single aspect of the manifestation process. You must understand that the universe is far more intelligent than we are, and it has a plan far greater than we can imagine. So, how do you release that attachment? How do you trust? Here's a specific exercise that you can use. Close your eyes and picture your desire. See it as if it has already manifested, and feel that joy, the relief, and the peace that comes with it. Now, consciously choose to release that desire into the universe, and imagine it floating away like a balloon, and feel a sense of complete and utter trust that it will return to you in the perfect way, and at the perfect time. And then, as you move throughout your day, notice if you're trying to control the process, if you're becoming attached, or if you're worried about how it's going to manifest, and then gently remind yourself that it's already done. You simply must trust and allow the process to unfold, and know that everything is working out for your highest good. So, understand that letting go is not passive, but it's an active choice to trust in a higher intelligence, and it's a way to align with the natural flow of the universe. And when you do this, you open yourself up to receiving your desires in ways that you may not have even imagined. So, release the need to control and embrace the freedom of trust. And as you begin to embody this practice, you will begin to see subtle shifts in your inner world, and these shifts will begin to be mirrored in your outer reality. And this is a very significant step in the process. You see, the inner world always precedes the outer world, so before your desires manifest in the external world, there must first be an internal shift, and this might begin with a feeling of more peace, more joy, more confidence, or a deeper sense of knowing. It may also show up as a change in your perspective, a new awareness, or a sense of excitement, and these shifts might seem random at first, but as you become more aware, you will see that they are the natural result of the changes you are making within, and these subtle shifts are a sign that the manifestation process is in motion. It's like when you plant a seed, you don't see anything at first, but beneath the soil, the seed is beginning to sprout, and the roots are taking hold, and soon enough, it will begin to emerge into the external world, and this is how it will happen in your own life. You must learn to pay attention to the small wins, the unexpected synchronicities, the chance encounters, the new opportunities, and all of these are a sign that you are in alignment with your desires. And to make this more practical, I recommend that you start journaling and start tracking these small shifts, and notice how they correspond to the inner work you are doing. For example, if you start noticing that you're feeling more at peace, or if you start to have an inner knowing that things are working out, make a note of this. And then, when you see a seemingly random event in your external world, write that down as well and see how these connect. You'll begin to recognize that these are not just random occurrences, but are actually signs of your inner alignment, and these subtle shifts are a sign that your outer world is beginning to catch up with your inner world, and they will give you a sense of encouragement and a sense of trust that will keep you moving forward. So, as you go through this practice, be present and be aware, and allow the universe to guide you every step of the way. And now, let's craft a nightly ritual that will serve as a sacred sanctuary for your transformation. Because the environment you create is just as important as the practice itself. And this is not something you have to do, but something that you choose to do, and it's a way to honor your inner world and the subconscious mind. Begin by creating a peaceful and calming atmosphere. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed, and turn off all electronic devices that might distract you. You can dim the lights, light a candle, use essential oils, play soft music, or use any other elements that help you feel relaxed and at peace. Now, find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to release the stresses of the day, and let yourself be guided by your breath. Bring your attention back to the present moment, and then choose your word and begin to repeat it silently or aloud. And as you repeat that word, infuse it with the feeling of gratitude and imagine that you are already living your desired reality. Feel the joy, the peace, and the abundance, and allow that feeling to expand throughout your entire being. Feel that it is already yours, and you are worthy to receive it, and know that this is not just wishful thinking, but a conscious choice to step into a new reality. And as you gently drift off to sleep, let this be the last thought that you have in your mind and the last feeling that you hold in your heart. This is a sacred time that you are creating, and this practice is not just about the words. It is about the experience, the feeling, the connection with your subconscious. Make sure to treat this time with joy and anticipation, and approach it with reverence, understanding that this is a powerful opportunity to reprogram your subconscious and to create the life you truly desire. And finally, let's tie all of these ideas together and bring it back to the core message of this entire video, and that is that the power to manifest your desires lies within you. It doesn't come from some external source, but it resides in your ability to reprogram your subconscious mind. Think of all of the loops we've talked about. The limiting beliefs, the teachings of James Allen, the state akin to sleep, the power of gratitude, the technique twist, the necessity of repetition, the art of letting go, and the importance of those subtle shifts. All of these concepts work together to create a pathway to your manifestations, and they serve as steps on your journey to becoming the architect of your own reality. You've planted the seed of your desires, and just like any plant, it needs care, attention, and the proper environment to grow, and this is what this practice is designed to do. So, I invite you to take this knowledge and to put it into action, and to commit to the 21-night practice. And as you do this, understand that you are not alone, and I encourage you to share your experiences in the comments below, and to build a community of support and encouragement. And know that the power to change your life is in your hands, and you have all the tools you need to create a life filled with joy, peace, and abundance. Now, let's take the concept of feeling and elevate it beyond just a simple action and into a state of being, because embodying gratitude isn't about merely experiencing fleeting moments of thankfulness. It's about cultivating a deeply rooted sense of appreciation that permeates every cell of your body. It's the difference between a surface-level understanding and a profound, unwavering knowing. It's not enough to just feel gratitude occasionally. We must make it a constant vibration, a way of being, and this is how you transform your subconscious mind and your entire energetic field. When you embody the feeling of gratitude, you're not just influencing your subconscious, you are also shifting your entire vibrational frequency, which then attracts more of what you want into your life. It becomes a magnet for positive experiences and opportunities. And the power of gratitude acts as the sun for your seed, giving it the energy to grow strong, to rise above the surface, and to blossom into all that it's meant to be. So, how do you step into this embodied state of gratitude? Imagine that you've already manifested your desires, and allow that feeling of joy, peace, and abundance to wash over you. Now use all of your senses to truly experience this reality. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? And what does it feel like to be in this reality? If you are imagining a new car, feel the leather of the seats beneath you, Smell the new car scent, see the shine of the paint under the sun, and hear the sound of the engine as it purrs. Step into that reality as if you're putting on a new set of clothes or stepping into a different character, and feel how that alters your entire energetic field. This embodied practice is not just mental, it's physical, emotional, and spiritual, and it's where you fully inhabit the reality of your desires. And this will make the practice not just something you do, but a way of being. And now, let's talk about the 21-night journey and the inevitable resistance you may encounter along the way. Because, as you commit to this practice, you may find yourself facing self-doubt, impatience, and skepticism, and it might feel like an uphill battle. You might begin to question if this is actually working, or if you're just wasting your time, and you may even feel a strong urge to give up. And this is all very normal, and you should know that these feelings are not a sign that you're doing something wrong. But actually, these resistances highlight the fact that you're breaking through old patterns. The ego, that part of you that seeks to maintain the status quo, will fight tooth and nail to keep you within your comfort zone. So it might try to convince you that this is all foolish or that it's too hard. And this resistance is not a setback, but a sign that you are making real progress. It's an indication that you are pushing through old, limiting beliefs and stepping into a new paradigm of thinking. So how do you navigate these challenges? Think of yourself as a nurturing parent to your subconscious. You wouldn't yell at a child for resisting a new idea or call them stupid for being scared. You would guide them with patience, love, and understanding. Treat yourself the same way and understand that these resistances are just the old programs trying to reassert themselves. So if you miss a night, don't beat yourself up. Simply return to your practice with gentle persistence the very next night, and know that this is not about perfection, but about consistent effort. Think of your subconscious like a toddler. It needs consistency and patience, especially when it is resisting a new idea, and you wouldn't give up on a child if they didn't understand something right away. So give yourself the same compassion and the same understanding. See these challenges not as a reason to stop, but as a sign that you are making real progress and that you are breaking free from old patterns. And now, let's explore the paradox of letting go, which is a concept that is crucial to master if you want to accelerate your manifestations. And this can often feel counterintuitive, especially when you're actively trying to create something new. But it's in the act of releasing control that we actually open ourselves up to receive our desires. Understand that letting go is not about giving up hope or about abandoning your dreams. It's about trusting the natural process of manifestation, and it's about allowing the universe to orchestrate things in the perfect way and at the perfect time. Imagine that you are trying to force a door open. You are pushing and pushing, and the door just won't budge. The more you push, the more it resists. But then you relax, you step back, and you realize there's another handle that opens it effortlessly, and this is how manifestation works. The more you try to force something, the more you create vibrational resistance, which blocks the flow of your desires, and the more you cling to a specific outcome, the more you push it away. But when you relax and release that attachment and allow the universe to guide you, your desires will come to you with ease. So, how do you practice letting go? Here's a detailed visualization exercise. Imagine that your desire is a beautiful bird that you love, and you want it to be free. You would not want to keep it in a cage or clip its wings, and you wouldn't want to hold on to it so tightly that it can't move. You want it to fly free, to explore the world, and to return to you when the time is right. So now, visualize that bird taking flight, see it soaring high, and feel a sense of peace, and trust that it will always be in your life in some form. This is how you must approach your desires, with love, with trust, and with the understanding that you must release the need to control the how and the when, and instead, focus on being in alignment with your desire. So, embrace the power of faith, not as blind belief, but as a powerful, active force that aligns you with the feeling of already having your desires. And know that when you release the need to control, You are opening yourself up to receive your desires in the most unexpected and beautiful ways. And as you begin to practice this technique, you'll start to recognize that manifestation isn't just about the grand gestures and the dramatic events, but also about the subtle shifts that happen both within you and around you. And it's crucial to pay attention to these shifts, because these are the indicators that you are in alignment with your desires. These inner shifts can be subtle at first, such as feeling more peace, more confidence, and more ease, and that you may not notice them right away, but they're just as significant as the external shifts. You might find that something that used to trigger a negative emotion now elicits a more neutral or even positive response. So, for example, a challenging person in your life who used to annoy you now only elicits a sense of calm or a sense of compassion. Or you might find that you are more at peace with the ups and downs of life, and that you are trusting the process with more grace. These are the signs that your internal state is shifting, and these inner shifts will, inevitably, manifest in the outer world. Outer shifts, like synchronicities and unexpected opportunities, are not random occurrences, but signs of alignment with your intentions. It's as if the universe is conspiring to bring you what you desire. These shifts might show up as a seemingly chance encounter with someone who can help you, or an unexpected opportunity that presents itself, or a new idea that pops into your head. And all of these are a direct reflection of the inner shifts that have already taken place. So, to become more aware of these shifts, practice mindful observation throughout your day and pay attention to how you feel and what you experience. And start a daily journal and begin writing down all of the small wins, all of the small synchronicities or sudden realizations. Because by tracking these coincidences, you are actually building confidence in your abilities to manifest, and you are beginning to see the subtle yet powerful ways that your internal shifts are creating external changes. And now, let's create a sacred nightly ritual that will elevate your practice from a mere habit to a powerful act of self-care and transformation, because the environment you create will set the stage for your subconscious reprogramming. This is your time, and this is your sacred space to connect with your inner world. So, before you begin your practice, set up a peaceful atmosphere. Dim the lights and create a relaxing environment that helps you feel calm and centered. You could also use aromatherapy, like lavender or chamomile essential oils, to deepen your relaxation. Or you could play calming music that helps you to unwind, and whatever sensory details that feel right for you, begin to incorporate these into your ritual. Now find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down. Close your eyes and gently focus on your breath, and take a few deep breaths in and a few deep breaths out, and with each breath, feel yourself releasing the stress of the day. Allow your mind to settle and feel yourself becoming more and more receptive and more at peace. And when you're ready, choose your word and begin to repeat it silently or aloud, with intention and gratitude, and feel the joy, the peace, and the abundance of your desire as if it is already yours. Feel it in every cell of your body, and let this be the last thought that you have as you drift off to sleep. And understand that this is more than just a task. It's a way of nurturing your subconscious as you prepare to plant the seed of your desires each night. This nightly ritual is like carefully preparing the soil before planting a seed, and that by creating this sacred space, you are honoring your journey, and you are creating the perfect environment for your manifestations to blossom. It's about making this time special and making it sacred so that you approach it with intention and with reverence. And now, let's bring all of these concepts together and tie it back to the core message of this video, and that is that you are not a passive recipient of life. You are the active creator of your reality, and that this power has always been within you. We've explored so many different ideas. The limiting beliefs that hold us back, the wisdom of James Allen, the importance of the state akin to sleep, the power of gratitude, the technique of repetition, the necessity of letting go, and the significance of recognizing subtle shifts. And you can now see how all of these ideas work together as a whole. You've learned how to reprogram your subconscious using the power of feeling and intention, and you've been given the tools to release control and to trust the universe. This journey is all about empowerment. It's about taking back control of your life and realizing your potential to create the reality you truly desire. And now, as you look back to the "what if" question at the beginning of this video, I invite you to reflect on the journey you have taken and the deeper understanding you now possess. You now have the knowledge to use your thoughts, your feelings, and your intentions to manifest a life filled with joy, peace, and abundance. And just like we discussed, the power is in your hands, and it always has been. So, I invite you to fully commit to this 21-night practice, and to embrace the power that you possess, and to share your experiences with us below, so we can continue to build a community of support and encouragement. And just as we discussed, you've planted the seeds now. It's time to tend the garden of your subconscious. So let's bring this all together and truly understand the core of this technique. Because as we've discussed, the magic isn't in a specific word, but in the feeling that you imbue within it. Think of it like a key. A key is useless without the lock, and a lock is useless without the key, and a lock is useless if you do not know how to turn the key. The word is simply a vehicle, a tool that helps you access the deep well of gratitude, and it is the feeling of gratitude, the heartfelt appreciation for what you desire, that is the true catalyst for change, that unlocks the door to your subconscious, and that transforms your reality. It's the feeling that imprints upon your subconscious and rewrites your inner narratives. So, forget about searching for the perfect word, and instead, focus on embodying the perfect feeling, and understand that the power is in your intention and your ability to feel the reality of your desires, not simply saying the words. And as we've journeyed through this process, you've discovered the power of contrasting limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts, and that the seeds of your intentions, your thoughts, and your feelings are what plant the possibilities in the fertile ground of your subconscious mind. We've explored how the state akin to sleep is crucial for accessing and reprogramming your subconscious, and how gratitude is a magnetic force that aligns you with your desires. And you've seen how all of these ideas work together to create a powerful synergy, a complete system for change. Each loop we've explored, from understanding the limiting beliefs to the wisdom of James Allen, to the importance of gratitude, to the practice itself, and to how it all works together with the process of letting go, is a piece of the puzzle. You've seen how these different aspects connect to one another, and how each contributes to the overall transformative experience. And you can now see how this process is not just a collection of tips, but a comprehensive system designed to change your reality. And now, I want you to take a moment and to really understand that you possess this power. You have always had this power, and that this technique is just a way to help you consciously activate it. Remember the "what if" question we explored at the very beginning. What if you could truly control your reality? What if you could reprogram your subconscious mind to attract your deepest desires? You have now seen that this "what if" is not just a fantasy, but a tangible reality that is waiting for you to step into it. And this is not about a magical word, but about embodying the feelings of what it is you want right now. And that you are the conscious creator of your life, and you have the power to change everything. Now, let's place this all into a larger context, and you will begin to see that this practice is not just some new idea, but something that has been whispered throughout time in the ancient wisdom and the teachings of philosophers like James Allen. These principles are not new, they are universal, they are a law, and they have always existed. They are simply becoming more understood by the collective. This isn't some isolated technique, but an alignment with the very fabric of the universe. We've talked about how James Allen, over a century ago, showed us that the power of our thoughts can shape our reality, and now you are starting to see how these timeless concepts are relevant today. Just like gravity, these principles are always at play, whether we believe them or not, and they are a fundamental aspect of how reality is formed. And now, let's connect all the loops, and the patterns we have explored throughout this video. The limiting belief loop has shown you how to rewrite the stories you tell yourself. The James Allen loop taught you that your thoughts are seeds. The sleep loop showed you how to access the power of your subconscious mind. The gratitude loop taught you how to align with your desires. And the technique loop gave you the concrete practice. And these are not just isolated ideas, but a powerful and connected structure that helps you change your reality. The consistent repetition is the water. The state akin to sleep is the soil. The gratitude is the sun. The feeling is the life force. And all of these are working together to help you grow the seeds of your desires into a beautiful garden of abundance. And now let's explore the potential implications of this practice and how your whole reality will change. By consistently repeating this word with intention and gratitude, you are not just changing your thoughts, you're changing the very fabric of your being and the very foundation of your reality. Every area of your life, your health, your relationships, your finances, all of it will be shaped by your new beliefs. This will not just change your life in small ways. This is an entire paradigm shift in how you experience and create your reality. This is a long-term commitment to growth, and the more you commit to this, the more powerfully your world will be transformed, and you will literally step into a new version of yourself. Understand that this transformation is not a destination, but a journey, a beautiful, lifelong process of growth and self-discovery. As you continue to practice, you will continue to evolve and continue to understand your true potential, and you will begin to live in alignment with your truth. This is not just about fixing your problems, but about stepping into the most authentic version of yourself. And you must approach this with grace and understanding, and know that this is a continuous process of uncovering who you truly are and becoming who you were always meant to be. This is a never-ending process of growth, and by choosing this path, you are stepping into the infinite possibilities that await you. And now let's come full circle and look at the limiting belief loop and see how far you've come. You are no longer bound by your old stories. You have the power to rewrite your inner narratives, to choose what you believe, and to direct the flow of your life, and you are now in control. This is how you plant the seeds of a new reality and how you consciously direct your life. And now, you are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your reality, and you have the tools to rewrite your story and create a life that is even more beautiful than you could have imagined. And just like a seed planted in the ground, you must tend your desires with intention, feeling, and gratitude, and know that this is an ongoing process of cultivation, not just a one-time event. You must continually nurture your subconscious mind with these practices. You wouldn't plant a seed and forget about it. You must care for it, water it, and give it the sunlight. And you must do the same with your inner garden. You must tend to it daily. And you must not just plant the seed, you must also allow it the space to grow. And now you are ready to begin the journey. So let's finally address that initial "what if" question, and let me ask you, what if you actually are the creator of your reality, and what if you have always had this power? And now you understand that this is not just a hypothetical idea, but the truth of how the universe works. You now have the knowledge and the tools to manifest a reality beyond what you thought was possible. And you now know that it is not just possible, but that it is your birthright. And you are now able to step into the potential that has always been yours. And now you can release any lingering tension and know that you have everything you need to begin your journey. The power to change your life resides within you, and the ability to reprogram your subconscious mind and to create your own reality is always in your hands. This is not a process that requires external validation, but an internal knowing, and you now have the tools to move forward with trust, commitment, and consistency. And you now know that you have everything you need, and everything is already within you. Now, I invite you to ponder this. Now that you know the power of your subconscious and the power of your feelings, how will you use this knowledge to create a life that you truly desire? What beautiful visions will you now plant in your inner garden? What will you create for yourself? This is the beginning of your journey. This is your new path. And remember that this is just the beginning of your journey, a journey of self-discovery, and that you are just scratching the surface of your potential. This process is not just about manifesting things, it's about becoming more connected to yourself and to your own inner power. I invite you to explore other practices that build upon these ideas, and to dive deeper into the mysteries of your own mind, and to truly understand the depths of your own abilities to consciously create your world. This is a lifelong journey, and it will never truly be over. And now, I want to encourage you to share your experiences, your challenges, and your successes in the comments below, so that we can continue to build this community and to support each other along the way, because together we can learn, we can grow, and we can all thrive, and we are all on this journey together. And please know that you are not alone. And lastly, I invite you to research James Allen, the subconscious mind, and other manifestation techniques, and to begin your journey of self-discovery, because this is a never-ending process of exploration, and you are just getting started. This journey is yours, and you have everything you need, so go forth and create a life that is filled with joy, peace, and abundance.